Hi everybody, it's Andrew here. Long time no speak. It's been a while since I've done a last tutorial, but I'm not going to bore you with my apologies, and I'm just going to basically try and finish this set of tutorials because I feel like I've probably annoyed a few people not being a bit more prompt. So I think last time we left the game like it is now. We created a start screen, and you have a scrolling space game where you have to avoid all the asteroids. One thing that niggled me that I didn't do before was I didn't do anything with the score. So currently there's no real reason to play the game. It's just, I mean, it looks kind of cool. Obviously, if you wanted to, you could draw better asteroids than this, but at the moment, that's what we're dealing with at the moment. I mean, you could also create nice asteroids in Blender. Actually, I mean, I created the main craft in Blender, but I didn't go to the effort of making asteroids. There are some really good Blender asteroid 3D modeling in on YouTube, which is really good, that you could use to make a realistic looking asteroid. You can make better stars than this. But anyway, I'm going to show you in this tutorial how we can affect the score. So I'm going to jump over to the text editor. Now, what I want to do is, we have the DOM element for the we've got the tag here for the score, and we've got the value here. What we want to do, we want to take control of this using a selector, a jQuery selector. So we're going to score, actually we'll call it C score. No, we won't, we'll keep it a score. Equals, we want to get the score element, the score tag there. Now I have that, I also want to make a variable, and I'm going to call this one C score, so current score, and I'll set that initially to 0. Now, what we want to do now, we've got to kind of think, what is the score going to be for this game? Because I mean, there isn't really anything you can collect. You basically just have to avoid the asteroid. So the score, it would make sense if the score was how long you could survive without hitting an asteroid. So we could do that we could do that with a timer. And so if we create a timer from the time when you click the start button, so from when you click the start button here, we're set off some kind of timer. To do that, we're going to do it here. So I'm going to create a variable called score it for iteration, score iteration, and we are going to assign the set interval. Now, I think with our main loop we are using the set timeout, but for the iteration of the score, I'm just going to use the set interval. So, and in here it takes two arguments. One is a function, and the other is how many times you want that function, how often you want that function to be called. So I'm going to make it all in line, so I'm going to include the function within the interval as an argument, and I want that to iterate every 1,000 milliseconds. So every 1 second I want the score to iterate. So I'm going to, in here I'm going to type C score plus plus. So that's gonna iterate this variable here. So if I run this now, nothing really happens. But if I were to say load up this screen here, you can constantly you can open up the tool, the JavaScript console, with Control-Shift-J, and this helps to see what's going on in the background of your program. So and what I can do, this is a new thing here that I don't think I've done in any of these tutorials before, but you can use something called console.log to print out results to the console here. So I can keep an eye on what's happening with my C score variable. So if I load this up now and press start, as you can see, it's actually iterating through the score. Well, what it isn't doing is it isn't updating the HTML element. So in order to do that, I'm going to go down to the if play game function. I'm going to say if play game is true, then score.html, which is a jQuery function, and I want to set the argument there as the C score variable. So this should now update the HTML element. So now it's iterating through the score as we play the game. If we stop, it stops updating the HTML element, but it actually doesn't stop the set interval. So in order to do that, we need to make sure when the game ends that we clear interval. So we want to clear the set interval, basically, so it stops iterating. So in order to do that, we can clear interval score it. Ooh, lowercase. So the score it matches up with the variable that we assigned the set interval function to. So what it essentially is doing is it's clearing all this, and so it will stop the iteration through the score. We also, this is when the ship hits an asteroid. We also want to put it when we drop out of the canvas view as well. So I put it there. Now it should iterate through the score. Now if I stop there, the score doesn't just stop on the screen, but it also stops iterating there. If I didn't have the JavaScript console up, you wouldn't have seen that, and it might be something that you might miss. So if I reset this currently, it doesn't actually reset the score on the screen. So we also want to make it so when we reset the game, or go back to the menu and start, we want to reset that each time. And also when we reset, we want it also to start incrementing again. So right. So if we go back to here, we can set the C score to 0, and also we will want to do it here as well in the menu button. So when we click on the menu button and when we click on the reset button, we want to reset the score. So if I refresh this again, now when we start playing and we die, when we reset it will reset it, but it won't iterate. So what we can do is we can a lazy way to do this will just be to copy this whole thing again and put in the reset button as well. Ooh. Let's get rid of this massive space. You could create a separate function that you called and put this in a separate function and then just reference that function in each of the reset button and the start button, but I'm going to be a bit lazy and just copy and paste into there. So now if we refresh again, right, I'm going to try and die by an asteroid and see if it does the same thing. Yeah, no, so if I reset now, and there you go, it starts resetting, it resets to 0 and then starts incrementing again. And also if we go to the menu screen and start, it's going to do the same thing. Right, I think that's going to be it for this tutorial. In the next one I'm going to show you how to make the score look a little bit better than it is now. I'm going to show you how to change some of the text so it looks a little bit so it looks better, and possibly a few other things. I also at some point want to show you how to save the score to local storage, so each time you load it up your high score will still be there. Yeah, anyway, if you like these videos, please watch some of my other ones, and I will see you next time. Bye.